The purpose of today's screencast is to showcase the lesson plan and the personal project that were created for the coding module. To give an overview of the lesson, students are learning about the different vitamins and minerals that are present inside of fruits and vegetables, and essentially why it's important to make sure you're getting all of these fruits and vegetables in your diet. But really, that's too many vitamins to discuss just by the teacher saying to the students, this vitamin is present in this fruit, or this mineral is present in this vegetable, and this is what they do. So instead, the students are going to select a particular vitamin or mineral to research on their own. They're going to research what that particular vitamin does for the body, how it helps it to function, any deficiency symptoms, so what might happen to the body if you're not getting enough of that vitamin, and then what specific fruits and vegetables are sources of this vitamin. So to help them with this research, the students are going to complete a graphic organizer just to manage that information and to compile it together. And then the students are going to create an animated comic through the coding application Tinker. They should be telling a story that will present this information so that they can provide it to the whole class. As an introduction to the lesson, the students will participate in two activities. First, they're going to participate in a Jamboard discussion where they'll talk about why they believe it's important to eat fruits and vegetables and how they think that those help the body to function appropriately. This activity will help the teacher to see if there's any prior knowledge that the students may have individually, but it'll also help to identify any misconceptions that need to be addressed. Once that activity is done, the teacher will be able to move on to a Tinker tutorial about how to do basic coding techniques, and really exploring Tinker through creating my personal project has helped me to be able to find and pinpoint where exactly students may need to focus their attentions if they happen to just be starting to code. So let's take a quick look at the tutorials that Tinker has to offer and things that will be helpful for the students to get themselves started. So first you're going to go to the My Projects area, click on Create a New Project, and here you'll find a plethora of videos and tutorials that you can use to teach yourself, to give yourself a starting point, and really you can customize it based on the project that you're hoping for your students to complete. I happen to know that I was looking for a storytelling way to code. So let's start at the video tutorials, which is where I would have my students start. And if you look here, you'll see that there's lots of options here. The dance party allows you to learn how to do a background, how to create a character, customize it, to clone it, to change its direction, adding sound and animation. So this is a really good starting point, and I would definitely be having my students start here to get a good base knowledge of how to begin coding. There's lots of options for games and for art and for music, and maybe none of this has anything to do with the project you're looking to do with your students, but you should pick and choose the ones based on the description of what it offers. So for my students, I'm going to have them do the dance party for the things that I had said earlier, and then also I might have them do the create your own avatar, because this allows you to create your own characters and to animate them with frame-based animation. And these are the two that I found the most helpful in creating my own personal project. So going back to the tutorial area, you'll also see some very short instructional videos that are helpful. You can watch them really quickly and get a really quick idea of how to do certain things like moving your character around, changing their direction, changing the size, and I was able to use a lot of these in my personal project. So again, another good starting point for your students. So let's talk about my personal project. I wanted to create a comic as an example of what my students will be creating in their lesson. So I wanted to also find a project that I could use as a base and move on from there and turn it into something unique that was my own product. So I went to the art and music section, to the storytelling area, and then I found a comic starter tutorial. So this was the project's starting point, and I was able to change the background, change the characters, and add a lot of details to essentially tell a story about some pirates who discovered that they needed vitamin C so they wouldn't have scurvy anymore. So let's dive in. I started with changing the background, so starting with this and changing it to something that was more fitting of a pirate going on an adventure. This did give me the opportunity to use the tools in the art studio, so all of the ones on the left side here and even ones that pop up along the bottom. So let's take a look at the first box scene.
Bird!
In this scene, I was able to incorporate a couple of different coding techniques. So in this scene, you can see that you've got two pirates whose teeth hurt and they're very upset about it. I was able to incorporate several different coding techniques into this box. First, I was able to add in a character and edit it. So this boat, I cut off the bottom and the middle to make it fit the box. I then added two characters, which I animated, added sounds and dialogue boxes to. This particular character here, I switched the direction so that he would face the other pirate. But the most unique thing about this is that I couldn't find the pirate sound that I wanted to use, so I found a way to upload my own voice to get the coding that I wanted. Let's check out the second scene.
Ah!
So in this scene, one of the crew members discovers that they have scurvy, and then he explains that it's from a lack of vitamin C, but it can all be fixed by going on an adventure to find some oranges that do contain that vitamin C. You'll see a lot of the same coding techniques of adding in different characters, animating them. There is a little bit of playing around with the timing of one character doing one thing and then waiting for the next character to do another. However, the most unique thing about this scene is that I was able to use size changing to make the scurvy teeth get bigger, and then I used the frame-based animation that I learned to make it turn into a 360 circle to allow it to stand out. Let's check out scene 3. So in this scene, I was able to code the map to grow bigger to stand out, and I was also able to animate the pirate character and to make him shrink and then reset his size so that it looked like he was fitting the size, like he was boarding this boat that was about to go on an adventure. You may even notice that the timing made it look like he disappeared as the boat started to venture away. Let's check out the last scene. So in this scene, again, the characters were animated, they had dialogue boxes, I added the banner, which included the slogan, and then I edited the treasure chest from the media library to have oranges instead of gold treasure. But the most unique thing about this scene is the boat. I animated it to have coordinates to move to over a certain amount of seconds, and then I even added in music for it to play. So that was my personal project, and for the lesson, the students would be making something very similar to that. Leading up to the lesson, I would obviously show that example for the students so they could get an idea of what was even possible in coding, and then I would run them through some of those same tutorials that I went through to give them a good base. Once the students are done, they would share their animated comics with the rest of the class so that everyone could be able to visualize everyone's different vitamin and mineral that were researched and how it benefits them and where they can get the food from. And then each student would be assessed using a rubric, making sure that they included all of the components, including creativity and giving a nice presentation, effort being made, that they used several different coding techniques, and then definitely that the content was there, that they had at least one benefit or deficiency symptom highlighted, one fruit or vegetable source, and then a catchy slogan on why they should eat that vitamin. Thank you so much for listening to my lesson plan for the coding module and my personal project. I hope that you enjoyed it.